nice lows created just last night around this, I want to say 55.5 area, created a nice little base and then popped up, consolidated back inside the 56,760 marker, which is a daily key level. And I'll show that to you in a second. And we moved sideways, built the base, and we popped up again from there. So now the question is, as long as we could stay above this base, right? Are we done here? Is this the low, and are we starting to make our move back higher? Okay. Now, the first thing that I see quite visibly on the Elliott wave count is you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 corrective count. Okay. This is probably the cleanest 5 that you'll see. All right. And after a 5, okay, after a 5, you get a corrective count to the upside like this, ABC. Then you can do a fib from the top to the bottom and map out fibs on the way back up. Okay. So the first immediate fib that's the most important to us typically is the 382 fib. Okay. And that's around $60,700. Most important fib beyond that is probably anywhere between the 50 and the 618. I'd probably say the 618. Okay. That's around, obviously, you know, the 50 fib is 62.5. The 618 is about 64. Okay. Now, first things first, what we got to do is take a quick peek at the daily. Here's why the daily is important. Okay. If y'all remember, yesterday talked about this particular area as being more than likely a temporary bottom that BTC is going to set. And it did, right? Even though we wicked below, okay, that doesn't mean anything until you start closing back above, which is what BTC is doing right now. So one thing that I pointed out was with this red candle, I told y'all that, hey, it is more than enough for us to come into this key low right here and take out a lot of liquidity, a lot of stops, and a lot of selling. Okay, a lot of selling occurred in this area in this one candle. And that took out stops from here. It broke the low right here around 59, and it took out the stops just below these two lows around 56,760. That's the marker that we should be paying attention to, 56,760, because that particular marker, okay, is this daily level. So if we could stay above this daily level, you have to then focus on the next daily level above you, which was this previous support. So that means that on a daily basis, price can get back and tag this level right here, which is around $59,000. Okay. If we could break and smash above this level, then you look for the next one, which is 61.9. Break and smash above that one, then you look towards 65. Okay. As I'd explained earlier, right? If you're looking for an ABC count where if you had a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, you're going to get an A, B, and a C wave corrective count back up. Okay. And that could maybe take you back to the monthly open of May, which is around 61.3, or it may take you as high as 62, 63, somewhere up here. I personally think regardless, as we head into the weekend and quite possibly early next week, we're likely headed up. Last night for Advantage members, I had pointed out a couple of assets to be paying attention to. Okay, this was around 2:30 a.m. my time. I just happened to be up. I was doing some research. The point is, you could see BTC was around 57.3. You could see AVAX was around 105, and you can see Solana was around, or Ethereum was around 4150. I think I mentioned Solana too, or I guess I didn't. The point is, you know, these three assets, right? They're up a good amount from my mention. Okay, ETH is in the 4220s, BTC is up almost $400, and AVAX I think is, let me check where AVAX is. AVAX is at 110, right? So all in all, very good signs. Okay, I'm still thinking that AVAX is going to keep heading up higher. I think we could probably get to 150s, 170s before maybe Bitcoin has a larger correction. I don't know if it's going to even have a larger correction, but I told y'all something yesterday, which was in the US, we have Thanksgiving coming up next Thursday. Why does that matter? Well, because Thanksgiving just happens to come at the tail end of the month. And it's the month of November, which is typically, seen as a month where you have some volatility before that December, final month of the year hits. And in the month of November, you have potentially rotations happening in the market, options expiries coming up at the end of the month, and profit taking, right? I don't know which one cause or many causes are the reason why the markets sell off, but here's how last Thanksgiving was for BTC. It sold off, right? The 1 to 2 days leading into Thanksgiving, had a final day of selling on Thanksgiving, and then took off. That's 2020. Here's 2019. Okay. Same thing. We had a previous, leading sell-off right into the Thanksgiving, slight pop up, but then rolled over, right after Thanksgiving, right? We were already on a decline right before Thanksgiving. 2018, how was that? Again, we were already having a prevailing trend to the downside, okay? And then once again, Thanksgiving hits and we sell off some more. So point is that Thanksgiving time, okay, that Thanksgiving time is a very peculiar area for BTC. And I think this month or this Thanksgiving is going to be the same. It is going to be critically important for us to recognize what's going to happen in the structure of the market as we head into Thanksgiving time, because it could give us hints of if price does something like this and it starts rolling over again, you might be able to put on hedges. You might be able to at least get out of your long positions if you're still positioned in, right? You could do any number of things, which is going to help you not commit a mistake. Additionally, something else that I had pointed out, and I think I pointed this out on my Twitter feed as well, which is right here, okay? This scenario right here that happened in April and May looks very, very similar to what's happening now, which is a daily head and shoulders building like this, head, failure of that head above the high, and then big sell-off, right? So once again, left shoulder, head, we might have that first pop up of the right shoulder. And if it breaks down, another sell-off. And that could take us back towards 53, 51, and as low as $47,000 to $48,000. I don't really want to get into the whole, bearish argument of things, because I personally think that we are on a nice bullish momentum. I also think that there are a lot of catalysts in the macro environment, such as these things: interest rates being low, the dollar printing press still being on, right? A high beta and growth stocks outperforming value, still true. No Fed policy change, that's still true. All these things are still applicable to the crypto market. So overall, the thesis has not changed for us to be invested in crypto or to be invested in tech and growth. Additionally, if y'all remember Lael Brainerd, I talked about her yesterday, right? She is potentially the next Fed chair, okay? Remember, I clicked on this article yesterday. I showed you all this. She's the next potential Fed chair over Jerome Powell. Okay, it depends how the Dems and Joe Biden is going to go about this process. But the point is that she is actually surprisingly even more dovish than Jay Powell. And dovish implies that she wants markets to have more leeway, more potential for growth in the economy, which means possibly keeping interest rates low, possibly even upping the Fed purchasing programs, which Jay Powell has actually trimmed down a little bit. They did some Fed tapering, right? So point is, she could actually be a very good thing for the market, like an even better thing, which is kind of, crazy to think about. So I know people may be thinking that this Fed chair switching may be a bad thing, but I think it's going to be a good thing. And more importantly, our macro picture stands up. Everything is good. Okay, so this is why I think of BTC as still being in a nice uptrend. And even though this area looks shaky, things can change quickly in the crypto space and in the macro space to guide crypto back up. Okay. The only thing that I am definitely concerned about right now is, first of all, breaking inside the 50-day moving average, generally not been a good thing. Okay. If we reclaim that 50-day moving average and say the 50-day does something like this, right? But then we break back below the 50-day like we did back here. See, we broke it the first time, reclaimed it, failed to hold it, and then sold off. So you could see the importance of the 50-day moving average, right? So we can potentially head up from here all the way to 62 or 63, like I said earlier, and then get sold off. And that could be a bigger correction, which could be very analogous to what happened back here, which might take us all the way to, the low 50s, maybe high 40s. Another area of interest for us in the high 40s is the VWAP yearly, volume weighted average price on a yearly basis. Okay. We pay attention to this VWAP yearly because more often than not, it's actually been pretty darn useful for us to keep an eye on. Okay. So here at present moment, VWAP yearly is currently around $47,000. Over the span of the next week, I could totally see it rising towards 48 or 49K. So you can see the importance of that. Okay. So there's a lot of moving parts that are happening in the markets, and we need to be paying attention to them very carefully. Okay. But all in all, one thing I will say is there are good assets that you want to be focusing on. There is definitely a momentum still in the market that I don't believe has completely faded. So we have to assume for now that the market is still in a relatively strong uptrend. Okay. Even on a weekly basis, even though things look like crap, right? If you look on a weekly basis, guess what? We are still in an uptrend. We could literally come down all the way to this previous high of the weekly, which is around 51.3K, right? And we could still be bullish back up because you'll have posted a low, a higher low, and another higher low, right? On a monthly basis, things don't look good, but guess what? The month ain't over. We still have 11 days to go in the month. And for Bitcoin and crypto, 11 days is plenty of time to fix all the crap that we've done over the past, week or two. Okay. So I still think that even on a monthly basis, there is a possibility that BTC can come all the way close to this previous high, which is around $50,500. The high of this month of August right here is $50,500. So we can wick into that area by November, maybe even at the beginning of December, and then quickly turn around by December and January. Okay, so these are all the little factors I want you guys to be paying attention to rather than getting caught up in the bear posting that people are talking about. All right. Additionally, what I'm recognizing in the NFT world is I'm starting to see some projects pick up their floors and start seeing bids. Okay, there's a few projects that I personally own. I'm not going to talk about them or shill them, but I've seen the floors rise on them because I've held them for all this time, haven't really sold that many, but now I'm starting to see the floors rise. So who knows? Maybe the money is rotating away from the assets like crypto projects and into NFTs for a little bit. Okay. All things to consider. Any questions so far? Let me get a sip of my coffee. Okay. There's a question about, do I see a Solana opportunity? Yeah, I definitely do. I definitely think that the L1s, AVAX, Solana, technically BNB's at L1 as well, Rune, FTM, and Atom and Luna. These are all to be considered as potential trades over the next few days, at least until Thanksgiving time. All right. But for Solana, let's pick that up, right? I had pointed out 190 as a potential marker for Solana, if you'll remember. See this right here. Okay. This marker, I want to show you guys this in DeFi analysis. Here it is. Okay. I pointed this out yesterday morning before we were approaching it. That one key marker. Okay. It's a key support on the 4-hour time frame and on the daily. I don't know if anyone got into that, but hopefully someone did. Even FTM, I'd pointed out, in this particular area on a daily basis, that was a key support. If it broke that, then we'd have a pretty ugly fall towards $1, which could still happen, but it ain't happening today. That's for sure, right? So the point is that as of right now, L1's clearly catching the bid, right? Like they have been over the past several months. So very good sign. In Solana, I think the simplest trade is probably something like this. Long here, stop below these lows. First target profit, this previous high right here, around 232. Next one right above this 245, 246 area. Okay. Additionally, if Solana were to come back, I think it would come back somewhere here. So I think it'll do this, like that. Okay. So the retest right here is around 200 flat. So you can wait for a pullback, go long, stop here, and then take your first target profit right there. And then next target profit right there. So you can kind of see that's a better risk to reward trade from this area. Okay. I myself am probably not going to take any levered trades. I have a very, very busy weekend. I cannot be micromanaging trades this weekend. So I'm going to just sit tight in my spot positions, just hang out here. I'm totally fine with my Solana position. We'll see how it goes. And then next week, I think is probably the big week, right? With all the things I talked about, the confluence of Thanksgiving, the KSR levels coming up as BTC heads back up and rebounds. All these things are going to probably take a lot of my time span and my attention. So I'll be looking for potential trades and hedges to put on then. What's going on, Hui? He says that NFTs will also get more momentum when Coinbase launches and announces more projects. I totally agree. So by the way, Coinbase has actually announced that they have a wallet that you can sign up for. And if you click on that wallet, or I'm sorry, if you sign up for that wallet, right, you have a chance to win, I think one of their NFTs. I forgot exactly which one, but all you have to do is sign up, tweet at them. So I did that a little while back. And then I've also held the Coinbase wallet just to make sure that, if there are any NFTs I want to grab, I'm going to grab them. Okay. So yeah, I totally agree. I think that'll be a good thing. Oh yeah, they're giving a BAYC. Hui says, tell my grandparents about crypto at Thanksgiving dinner. I know, right? So markets could probably nuke then for sure. So yeah, anyway, I think all things are good, folks. As I mentioned, the Bitfinex seller yesterday on Trading Light, I think that seller has pretty much stopped. Buying activity has kind of picked up a little bit as well. Funding rates are calm. Overall open interest has come down a significant amount. So all things, I think, look decent for a mean reversion into the weekend. Okay. All right. I think that's about it. That's all I have. FTM, I already told y'all, looks solid as well. Strong, L1 ecosystem asset. Rune as well. I think that one looks good. I think for Rune, probably 1130, and then this area around 1230. Those are the next big resistance levels on the way up. Okay. That's all I got. Take care. Have a happy Friday, and let's kick ass. All right. Cheers, everybody.